Hey there, I'm not Alex. He'll be along later, but I'm taking over for the moment. My name's Charlie from Charlie Pickering Designs, and I do the catering side of woodwork. So I'll sell to bars, restaurants, hotels. I make most things they need, whether it's tableware or kitchenware, some signage as well. But I also make things for markets, much like Alex does. And today we're going to be doing a comparison of what the UK is versus America. And you'll see at the end of it that there are some similarities, but there's probably some big differences as well. Over to you, Alex.
Hey Charlie, is there anything more American than a barbecue and whiskey fest in the United States? I don't think so. Well, I'm at a market here and it's at a casino, and it is the Barbecue and Whiskey Fest here at A Casino, and man, is it a good time. Giving you a quick look at my booth, this is a 10 by 10 setup. So I've got 3 tables, all of them are 6 foot. I create this kind of U shape throughout my whole table. I also have 2 4 by 4 storage racks that you'll see right there. And this allows me to put a wide variety of product, a little bit of everything that I make out on the tables. So again, my name is Alex. I run Duffey Woodcraft, a custom designed CNC shop out of Vancouver, Washington, here in the United States. My shop is all about making small products like handmade gifts, board games, and things that you're going to spend a lot of time playing with and hands-on. I like to make functional art that brings family together and will last for generations. My shop is powered by my HD 520, the Next Wave Shark, and I absolutely love this machine. It is the heart and soul of my workshop. My workshop itself is a 2-car garage wide by 3-car garage tandem small, so it pushes in the back. I have lots of lumber storage, lots of mixed matched equipment, and just things throughout the entire shop to make it a perfect little one-man shop. If you're new to my channel and want to see the full shop tour, check the link in the video description below. Before we continue with the video, if you're enjoying this content, please give me a like and subscribe. If you want to support me even more, I did just start my own Patreon over at patreon.com/DuffeyWoodcraft. If you're interested in supporting, there are 2 tiers. It's very simple. There's a $5 tier for a welcome to the family, and a $10 tier, which is our VIP tier. Each tier, you're going to get a sticker from Duffey Woodcraft mailed to you. You're going to get exclusive content over there on the site, and you're also going to get access to our quarterly meetup Zoom call that we're going to be doing. But if you're a VIP tier, you're also going to get a handmade gift made directly from me after 2 months of joining the Patreon, and you're going to get your name added to our video every week. So if you're interested in joining me over there, it's patreon.com/DuffeyWoodcraft. Now back to the video.
So Alex has asked me to give you a little tour of the shop, show you my processes, what I've got, just a quick little rundown of how things work in my business. This is the heart of it. This is my Onefinity Journeyman CNC. I built the table for it myself. I store bits in here, plus like hold down methods and some mayonnaise. The CNC runs on a redline spindle with the Masso controller. It's fairly high-tech stuff. Don't understand it all, but it works really well. I love this machine. Okay. So the next area is my chop saw station, which also doubles as a sanding station and my router station as well. I keep the majority of my tools on the wall here, or like my first go-to ones, so chisels, spanners, pliers, etc. Got my router bits, all the sanding bits over there, some lettuce. What else do we have? Gluing up, and also above it, you can see up here, is dust extraction. So it just makes cleanup a lot easier and whatnot. And then up here, I have my airline. So it's just like a nice, simple, condensed area to work with. So this is the back of the shop. So I've got 3D printing for prototyping products. I've got lumber storage, laser engraving here, power tools there, pillar drill here, and we've got this area for photography, which is really simple. It's just strips of oak and some steam beech pin nailed to the wall, and it just makes a nice backdrop for all of my images as well. I think that's about it for this section. So in this corner, I've got the bandsaw. I've got my finishing area where sort of I dump things in mineral oil and then just leave them out to dry. I've got my fixings here, so anything from washers, nails, screws, what's here, tomatoes, and yeah, that's kind of it. Oh, also I hang things from here when it needs to be sprayed. So you can just put them on a hook. So that's for finishing or spray paint. I can get this to hook on. There you go. It's a handy little area. So the final part is here's a table saw, and then also this is actually my first ever market. I know that sounds weird because it's a Smeg fridge. I found it on the side of the street and I converted it into a little shop that I used to have in a food hall in Epsom. So I'd sell things out of it and ring them up, bag it, and then in this section at the bottom I'd keep extra stock or bags or whatever. Right now it's just storage for the shop. I think I've got some bits for my gazebo tent and table. That works really nicely. Welcome to the shop. And this is where all the stuff happens.
How many craft fairs or markets do you do in a year?
I'm a lot pickier with my markets than I used to be. I now only do markets that either I've been to in the past or that I get recommended from people that I trust and that I can get a larger booth at. So at least a 10 by 10, if not a 10 by 20 or so on. I do basically on average at this point, one market every single month. And then for the holiday season, I do a market at least every week from the beginning of November through mid-December. So on average, I would say I'm about 25 markets throughout the year with holidays and special events.
So I roughly try to do about, 25 to 30 markets a year, about 2 a month. But then you've got Christmas on top where you do a lot more. And that's like the big earner of the year is usually Christmas time over here. Because we don't have such big markets like you guys do in America. And that it hurts us sometimes, I suppose.
How do you find markets to sign up for? And how far will you travel?
Let's start with how far I will travel for a market. I usually stay in the Portland metro area, so about a 30 to 40 mile radius from where I live. However, there are a few exceptions. I will go to, say, McMinnville, Oregon, which is a few hours from me, because that is where the big UFO festival is in the area, and it is one of my larger markets. Now, will I go even farther than that? Yes, it is going to depend on cost effectiveness. So I know that if I'm going at least 2 hours away, I'm probably getting a hotel because if it's a 2-day event, like with the McMinnville one, it goes until 9 p.m. 2 hours home is 11 p.m. And then we have to be back at 7 a.m. the next morning, which means I'm leaving at 5. That just isn't a great experience. You could do it, but it's just not fun. So I will get a hotel overnight for that event. If I'm going farther away from even farther, then it's definitely a hotel situation. And so then it's looking at how much does the market cost to get into, how far do I have to travel and the costs associated with that, plus what can I expect on average to make in a weekend, and we'll see where it goes. Usually that doesn't make sense for me. I average around $1,500 every market. So getting a hotel plus travel expenses and so on, it really eats into my profit. So I don't necessarily think that makes sense for me currently. And as far as how you find markets, there are a few tried and true methods that I recommend. One, go to Facebook events and look in your area. Lots of market managers will advertise on Facebook because it's free and it gets out to a lot of people. So you're going to find events in your area. It also saves old events so you can find older events in your area as well. So then you can reach out to the market manager, see if they're coming back again this year and get signed up for it. Most markets open registration in my area 3 or 4 months before the market. So you need to be aware of when you are getting in if you're going to be able to make that event. Christmas markets are usually in November and December. They start registering back in June. So you really got to be on top of it right away. Besides Facebook events, I would go to markets and talk to vendors. Ask them, hey, besides this market, are there any other ones that you recommend in the area for a vendor that do really well? If you talk to them, if you also talk to the market managers, there's not many of them in the area, so they all kind of know each other. They're a great way to advertise in between each other. So ask them what other markets that they would recommend. That is basically the tried and true method that I find. Either go online, find events that have been advertised in the past or are currently being advertised, or go to the event itself, see what it's like, and then talk to vendors and the marketing managers.
So I probably get most of my market links from other traders, really, to be honest. Like, once you join a market over here, there seems to be like a WhatsApp group or an email chain or something, and people will pass around the information there. And I find that that's kind of the best way to sort of be in the know-how, and you get experience from other markets and market traders, and how they've got on with things. Oh, and also travel-wise, I won't travel more than, say, like an hour, I don't think, to go to a market around here. But there's so many like smaller ones that you can find within an hour. It's not really a big issue.
What are the costs of going to a market?
Cost of going to a market. There are a couple of different things that you need to think about when you are planning a market. One, booth fee. Booth fee is different on every single market in my area. On average, I would say Saturday markets are going to be your cheaper booth fee. Those are usually under $100 a market. And craft fairs are going to be more expensive. I've done craft fairs as cheap as $30, and I've done them all the way up to $700 for a booth. Besides booth fee, you also need to look at just startup costs. So the products that you're going to be purchasing to bring, like your tables, your chair, and so on. If you already have that, great. If you don't, that is a cost that you need to think about. Also, if you're doing cash sales, you're going to need to have cash on hand. I recommend, for me, I recommend at least $100 in your cash box, split between ones and fives. If it's a larger event, like say my big $7,000 weekend, those I will put about $300 in, mixed between ones, fives, and tens, because I'll get a lot of bigger bills at those events. And then finally, the day of, I would say just remember food, because if it is a full day event, if you don't bring food, you're going to have to eat eventually at some point. And so food at markets are generally more expensive. It's also greasier, not as healthy. So just be aware that you're going to be spending money on food, even as much as a dollar on a coffee or so on, that you're going to be spending money on.
Market costs vary, really, to be honest. I mean, you can look at something like 35, 40, 50 pounds for a morning market. But if you're doing like a full day, I would say you're probably looking at about 120. And then I've seen weekend markets go from anywhere from like 150 to like 260, 300 pounds. Which is, I mean, those have got to be busy markets, to be honest, to be able to sort of do that sort of money. But then I know people that have spent, £500-600 on a market, and they have not made their money back whatsoever. So yeah, like, you really got to be careful on how much you're spending. Just because you're spending a lot doesn't mean that it's going to be a successful market.
What is your average market booth size and layout?
My average market size, as I said, is around a 10 by 10. I prefer a double booth, so a 10 by 20. That allows me to spread out. Some of my biggest events, like at the casino that I go to a lot, I usually get a 10 by 30 as well, so a 3 booth size. That allows me to spread out quite a bit. I get good space in between my products, and allows me to showcase each product individually with different levels of variation across my whole table, which helps people slow down and take a look at your table. So I really like that as far as size-wise. Now my setup, I set up generally in a U shape. If it's a 10 by 10, it's going to be 3 6-foot tables, or 2 6-foot tables plus 2 4-foot shelves that are 2 feet wide a piece. And that way customers can walk into the booth and basically do a U to walk in and walk out, checking out on the way they leave. Now, if I'm doing a larger event like that 10 by 20 or 10 by 30, it's going to be a straight line all the way around plus 2 tables on either end to create a backwards or a normal U versus an inverted U on the 10 by 10. So that's going to give me lots of space to put out everything and showcase it while customers can walk right in front. I can see everything that they're doing, and I'll have usually those 4-foot shelving behind me as support or back stock of product that I can grab, or that will hold like bags and things that I can grab to fill orders as they come through.
So my booth layouts are one of two ways. I'll either have it under a gazebo or not. I'll always have 2 tables covered in the stretchy cloth. And when it's under a gazebo, I set it in an L shape. But when it is out of the gazebo, I usually have 2 tables side by side, creating one long one. Then people can sort of work their way along. And I will lay things out with sort of more expensive items at the back of the table, and like cheaper little picky bits to go at the front. Now, I think some people might have seen my meat pullers. I always put those kind of in the center because those draw children, and then the parents stand around those and do their sort of looking whilst they're waiting for their children to stop playing with the toys. Also keep some sweets on hand as well, which is never a bad shout. I don't think there's anything else that I do for sort of market layouts. No, that's kind of it. I mean, like, I'll have my bags on like a hook or something like that. Do I have any lying around? Yes. So I have my bags on band clamps that just attach to the side of the table like so. Just makes life easier. I used to have them hanging from the gazebo, but it's just not really worth it.
What are some of the best gadgets or things that are part of your setup?
Okay, so number 1 is a fan. I do some outdoor markets, or it just gets sweaty and hot from not enough air conditioning or so on. So I always have a fan near my checkout station. I really recommend you looking at the Venti fan. That's a V-E-N-T-I. It is a collapsible, foldable fan that also oscillates and has a remote. It's just really cool. Check that out. You can find a link to my Amazon in the description below, and I've got all of these products linked there. Next, a battery, for something like the Jackery brand or others, that you can have electricity in your booth to charge cell phones, tablets, or anything else that you need to display or vend, like a square reader, which brings me to number 3, my square reader. I have the handheld square reader. I absolutely love it. What's great about it is it uses Wi-Fi to connect to the Square processing, and as long as you've logged in within the last 48 hours, you can still take credit card transactions even if you don't have Wi-Fi connection, and then next time you go to Wi-Fi within the next 48 hours, it will then upload all those transactions. Yes, there is a little bit of a risk in that aspect, but if you're in a pinch and you don't have Wi-Fi, or you can't do a hotspot on your phone or so on, it is a great handheld device that will do all of that and store it so that you, if you're in a big warehouse and you're blocked out from signal, you can still take credit card transactions.
The best gadgets to have are, well, obviously a card reader. A Bluetooth speaker is also never a bad shout to have on hand. What else? Ooh, a Leatherman as well, or some sort of multi-tool. Just have it in case anything goes awry and you need to fix something on your booth or whatnot. I've had like nuts go loose on the gazebo, which has been a pain in the bum. And yeah, I think that's about it. Also, I talked about sweets earlier, but what you want to do is also have like crisps and nibbles and things. So if I've got like a pinch pot for like putting your herbs in next to your stove, just show it off. Put your salt, pepper, chili and rosemary in there. Like, make things, demo things without having to like actually demo them, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's the best thing you can really do, to be honest.
What products sell well and what products don't sell at all?
So for me, I specialize in small handmade gift products. So what sell for me are a lot of functional things, and that's what I've been focusing on throughout my career at markets. So I focus on game boards, things that customers are going to use in their kitchen, things that they can wear, like earrings and so on. So there are functional products. What doesn't sell in my area? I have found over the time that I don't sell a lot of signs. I used to make a ton of them. Now I make a few for specialized markets, like my UFO Fest. I'll make some specialized signs. I tried doing a lot of like wall art stuff at Christmas time, and I just found it didn't sell. So I, gave up on that, and that's okay. I think it's fine to give up and move on. The market is very saturated. Another thing that people are very saturated in the area is charcuterie boards. Pacific Northwest, wine and cheese capital of the United States. There are lots of people selling charcuterie boards. I was not moving them, and I decided just to give up on them. I'll do them custom order if somebody makes one, but they just take up a lot of space and they don't move quickly. And my goal is to move my product very quickly. So I don't make charcuterie boards.
Big sellers are cocktail smokers, obviously, but everyone knows that. Chopping boards are always a great seller. The egg and soldier plate I make as well, or like some people call it a dippy egg plate. I don't know if that's a thing in America. You boil an egg, like cut the top off, cut up some bread into strips, dip it in. Those sell really, really well. And then what doesn't sell well, but I still have on the stall? Meat pullers, they sell quite well, but not as well as I'd like them to. But they do grab people's attention, which is a nice one as well. The coffee scoop clip is an okay seller. Worst thing I've ever made was a snack tray, which is like a little square with a little dish in those. I've only ever sold 5 of those, and I think I made like 15 of them.
What were the worst and best experiences you have had at a market?
Okay, first of all, the worst. Now, this might make me sound entitled, but it is just the worst experience I've had at a market. I went to a market that was at a new location, and unfortunately, you had to buy a ticket to get into the market area. I never like events that do that because you're already taking away money from a vendor that they're there to make or relieve from somebody. And so when you charge somebody $35 to get into just the market in the beginning, it's $35 that's not going to be spent somewhere else. I get that some places need to have, rental fees and so on. But honestly, that's where the money comes from the vendors when you are charging them for their booth. Because this place was also a pretty expensive booth. It was a couple of $100s for a just Saturday craft market. And then you also charged to get into people. Because of that, and because of some other factors that were not part of their control, like a highway being shut down and so on, this event, they estimated was going to be 10,000 people, big event. I think we had 100. It was rough. It was an all-day event. Maybe 100 people showed up for the entire event. The money I made was from vendors, but I didn't even make my booth fee that weekend. So I was negative right off the get-go and stayed negative the entire time. Plus, then we didn't bring food, so we bought food. It was super hot, so we bought some extra waters and things. And then the worst of the worst was it was super hot, and then at the last 45 minutes, it started downpouring, and I was done. It's the first and only market that I've ever just packed up and left before the closing. I was just so frustrated. And another thing about that is the vendor market manager had said, she'd come around and was like, we'll be around, we'll be bringing you drinks and stuff and relieving you if you need to go to the bathroom and stuff. Never saw them again. It's like when people didn't show up, they knew it was bad and they didn't want to hear it. So they never came by again. And I talked to the other vendors. Nobody saw this marketing manager ever again. And again, when it was almost 100 degrees, that water was something that was really important that didn't get passed out or brought as it said it was going to. So that was my worst experience. My best experience. I hate to say it, it comes down to money. Best experiences are markets that I don't think that are going to do well and then do really, really well. My very first casino event that I did in the area, I was like, it's a casino. People don't go there for craft fairs, right? So I went and I did 4 times my average for that 2-day event, and I was ecstatic. And since then, I've been back to every single event at that building since then, and I absolutely love it. I'm thankful that they keep wanting me back, and it's great. So, that's the best experience, is when it's a surprise success.
I think the best experience I had was probably first Christmas at Fair Showdown Market in Tooting, southwest London. I pretty much sold out of everything, which was amazing. And that kind of gave me like serious confidence, because I'd only been doing markets for 2-3 months then. And it was just really nice to hear people like enjoy my products, which was cool. And then the worst is probably Denby's wine fair, I think. I just chose the wrong market to do, and I should have really done research. This was also a Christmas market, not too long after the Fair Showdown one. Everyone there was a lot older than my usual go-to crowd, I guess you'd call it. And they just didn't really want to buy anything. They didn't understand what I was selling. And they would be like, I don't know, like the egg and soldier plates. They'd be like, but we already have egg cups. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, yeah. I think that cost me £60 to get into, and I made 200 at best. And then the person who set it up came over and was like, oh, how's it going? And I explained to him. And he was like, well, it's a wine estate, so why aren't you making any leather goods to do? So, like, bottle holders and pourers. I'm like, I'm a woodworker, dude. Like, not all makers, like, do everything. So, yeah, that was interesting.
What other types of customers do you see come into your booth?
So, living in the United States, I know there are a lot of stereotypes out there of the American and so on. Unfortunately, some of that does actually ring true. So I would say for the most part, and I'm saying 95% of the time, the average person that comes in the booth is wonderful. They are there, they're looking around, they are enjoying their time out at a market or a craft fair. They're there to buy something, not necessarily from you, but they're there to buy something, and they are enjoying their time. From there, you have who I call the Karens, and these are the people that walk into your booth, look at things and go, huh, or that's how much? Or I could do that, and walk away. Those are the Karens, in my opinion. I also have the touchers. As a wood product, people walk in and everyone wants to touch the product. And it's like they're oh, I'm petting the wood. It's really funny. I get it. It's a tactile thing. You're going to be using it. It is, but it's so funny to watch a grown person pick up something and go, yeah, I like that. So there's the touchers. You have the hagglers, the people that are coming in and they want a deal or want something that is going to make them feel like they walked around and did their haggling thing. Unfortunately, I'm not the vendor for you. As I said, I do not haggle. I'm not the person for you to come and talk to. If you're wanting a deal, you already have one on my table. I'm not giving you a deal on top of a deal. And then lastly, you have the tunnel vision folks. And I love these folks because they locked on one piece from afar. They walk in, they grab it, they check out, they leave. It's perfect. It's so fun to watch these people walk in because you literally see them walk by, they stop, they go, yep. And they focus in on it. They grab this one item, whatever it is, and they bring it up to you. This is what I want. They check out and they walk away. It's a fast transaction, but it's a sale, and it's really fun just to watch whatever grabbed their attention and draws them straight in.
I think my usual customer is like the yummy mummy crowd almost. Wives of execs that have a bit of play money to do what they want to do. Spend it on nice presents for friends. Otherwise, it's like foodies and young professionals, and like the next in line is my audience who spend a lot of cash with me. And then Christmas is kind of like a free for all because I think it's simple. Everyone cooks, So they're quite happy to buy like food and drink based items from me.
What is the one piece of advice you wish you'd been given before your first market?
That is track every single sale. I, at the first couple of markets, I didn't track sales. I was like, oh, I'll just, count up the money at the end of it. And then I sit there and go, well, wait, what actually sold? Because I brought so much product and I had leftovers that I didn't necessarily know everything, and I hadn't counted everything ahead of time. So know what inventory you're bringing and keep track of what sales that you make. And if that's on a piece of paper, if that's in a notebook, if that's on your Square app, if you're only doing credit cards, or if you're doing cash through the Square app as well, there are lots of ways that you can track. So track that. It's really helpful for then the next time you come to know what products did well or did not well, and just to track just your sales in general so you know exactly what you're bringing in. My advice that I give to every single market person is do not touch your phone during the events. And I mean it. Take this, put it away, and don't look at it during the events. If you're having to do credit card transactions or Venmo transactions through it, that's fine. But do not look at your social media. Do not call somebody, blah, blah, blah. When I see a vendor on their phone, I just watch people walk away from their booth. It's basically a sign that says, I'm not interested in you. Don't be interested in my stuff. And people do pick up on that body language and they just walk away. And I've seen it happen tons of time. Now, do I do it occasionally? Yeah, I do. And I admit that completely. I will pick it up if I'm having a frustrating time or I need that 10 minutes to check out, I'll do that. But for the most part, do not touch that phone. And if you have a partner or a friend that's there with you and you need that 10-minute checkout break, just ask them, hey, can I take that break, and walk away and check out. That is very helpful as well. And I need to do that more myself. But yeah, don't touch your phone.
So one piece of advice would be to read self-help books, I think. I know that doesn't really sound like market-based, but it is. If you can pick up a copy of How to Make Friends and Influence People, and also Never Split the Difference as well, they're both really good books on sort of understanding the mental psyche of people, and it just really helps like customer relations and being able to sort of guide people into what you want them to buy, essentially, which is what we all want, isn't it? I think. Oh no. Put that back together.
Thank you so much for coming along on this journey with us. I hope you learned something from it and can help you at your next market, or if you're getting started in markets, to see the differences between the United States and outside like the UK. If you are interested, make sure you like and subscribe this video. Head over to Charlie's channel. Make sure you like and subscribe his video as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much. I have another project video coming out in 2 weeks. Until I see you then, bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. It's missing hot sauce. Oh dear. Right, cool. Bye. Bye, Alex.